Today we're focusing on a case of exceptional teenagers. In a school, 5 students disappeared collectively at the same time. What's noteworthy is that they are all deaf and mute teenagers. This incident has caused an uproar in the local community. Some say the kids ran away of their own free will, while others think there must be a conspiracy. So what's the truth? It's June 10, 2009. Hohhot, Inner Mongolia, China. This is the scene of the mass disappearance, the Hohhot Special Education School. The 5 missing students, the oldest is 15 years old, the youngest is only 13, and they belong to different grades. The date of June 10th is still fresh in the minds of many teachers. There hadn't been an incident of this magnitude since the school was founded. In Miss Cow's class, during roll call before class that afternoon, the teacher noticed that a female student hadn't shown up for class. Miss Cow called Xiaohong's parents, but they couldn't get through. Miss Cow was a little worried because Xiaohong was only 13 years old, and in the eyes of the teacher she was a well-behaved and quiet girl. So how could she not come to class for no reason? Time passed, and after 2 classes, Miss Cow's concern quickly grew into a campus-wide panic. Because other classes had also found students missing, the final list was 5 students. According to the teachers, the 5 students were in class in the morning, but in the afternoon they were all gone, and their classmates had no idea where they had gone. 2 of the 5 students belonged to the resident students, the other 3 home in Hohhot, every morning to school classes in the afternoon after school to go home. Then, different grades and different classes of 5 children, at the same time unexplained absence, obviously not a coincidence. This should be a group behavior. While looking around, the school staff contacted the parents of the 5 children. The feedback from the parents was that their children were not at home, and they had no news of them. It was the evening of June 10th, and after the parents rushed to the school, they had to face the painful truth that their children were missing. Several parents in the streets of Hohhot, looking for the whole night, still nothing. Parents cannot figure out, usually always obedient children, how will somehow disappeared. In Hohhot City, suburban combination of a street, the reporter found the missing student Xiao Ru's home. Ru's parents searched every corner of the house, trying to find a message from their daughter. In the corner of her bed, they found a small note. The note said, "I won't be home at noon. I'll eat at a spicy restaurant near the school, and then take a lunch break at school. Don't worry." It was written before her daughter left home in the morning, but Ru's parents were a little skeptical. It couldn't be the daughter's intention. Maybe she was threatened by a bad guy and wrote a lie. After thinking it over, the parents reported it to the Hohhot Railway Police on June 11th. From the parents' account of the situation, and combined with the experience of previous reports, the police have a hunch that the children may no longer be Hohhot. If the children took the train, then the railroad police can use a way to quickly find, that is, set up in the train station around the monitoring system. Railroad police took the parents in the train station's monitoring room, access to the June 10th afternoon video. They searched through the footage of the endless stream of travelers. Luckily, the parents found 2 missing students, Xiaohong and Xiaodong, in the footage, but they were also accompanied by an unidentified man and woman. None of the parents or teachers present at the time recognized them, but the behavior in the footage showed that the adult couple seemed to be very close to the 2 children. This anomaly allowed the police to make the judgment that the 5 deaf children were likely to be abducted. The video showed the children going to a waiting room. The police then found out that on the afternoon of June 10th, the police then found out the number of trains that entered the waiting hall on June 10th and checked them one by one. The person who provided the information was the chief steward of train 1717. In his memory, after the train departed from Hohhot on June 10th afternoon, in the 11th sleeping compartment, there were several passengers using sign language to communicate. The youngest was about 14 years old, and the oldest was a woman of about 40 years old. Train 1717 starts from Hohhot and ends in Chengdu. The chief of police said he thought they were teachers and students from a school for the deaf. The chief of police remembers that the deaf mutes got off the train at Lanzhou station.
没有什么异常，什么苦恼呀，什么悲哀，没有这些意，没有什么像一个正常旅客，就是说话就是打哑语，这几个人都是打的哑语。
Train 1717 arrived in Lanzhou in the morning of June 11th. The police received the order to investigate at noon. Railroad police told reporters that if they could have reported the case earlier, they could have issued the order earlier. It's possible that the train could have rescued the child before it arrived in Lanzhou. The reality is that someone abducted 5 children and got off the train at the Lanzhou station. The railroad police shifted their search to this unfamiliar city. After learning from the police that the children had been abducted to Lanzhou, Xiao Ru's father couldn't stay at home. He contacted the fathers of some of the missing children and came to Lanzhou with his luggage. They hoped to find their missing children on their own, but how could they find them in the vastness of the world? In the unfamiliar city of Lanzhou, parents asked everyone with their children's photos, but no one knew the whereabouts of their children. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, the parents' hope gradually turned into disappointment. In their anxiety, the parents thought of turning to the media. Reports of the search for their children began to appear on local TV and newspapers. As the frequency of reports increased, the disappearance became a hot topic of discussion in Hohhot and Lanzhou. While sympathizing with the parents, people are also keenly watching the real-time progress of the incident. On the other hand, the Hohhot police sent surveillance footage to public security authorities all over the country, asking for assistance in the investigation. On June 18th, the 9th day after the disappearance, police received a message about the suspect. Police in Daitong, Shanxi province reported that a suspect from the CCTV footage had appeared in their area. When the local police received this information, they immediately mobilized their police force and rushed to Datong, Shanxi province. With the cooperation of the Datong Public Security Bureau, the suspect, Song Fulin, was finally arrested. This opened a breakthrough in the case, and with this person's testimony, the police realized that the missing children had not been abducted to Lanzhou. In fact, the suspect took the children from the 1717 train and played a trick. They got off the train in Lanzhou in the morning, waited at the station all morning, and then switched to another train at noon and went to Chengdu. The culprits are really cunning, using such a trick to make the police's initial search focus deviated. Then the police locked the tracking area in Chengdu. With the cooperation of the Chengdu police, another suspect in the case, Feng Jie, was arrested. She was the woman who appeared next to Xiao Hong in the surveillance video. Her arrest led the police to the whereabouts of the 5 missing children. On June 23rd, the police brought the children, who had been missing for 13 days, back to their families. This image of a mother and daughter hugging and crying makes us sad, but also makes us happy. Regarding this disappearance case, we still have some unanswered questions. Why did the suspects target deaf children, and how did they abduct the 5 children so easily? The suspects, Song Fulin and Feng Jie, are both from Datong, Shanxi province. According to the police investigation, they both have criminal records. The 2 of them had been convicted of stealing from a bus and were sentenced to 1 year in prison by the Fuzhou Intermediate Court. But to the reporter's surprise, Song Fulin and Feng Jie are actually deaf and dumb. With the help of a sign language interpreter, the reporter interviewed Song Fulin. According to the police, the 2 suspects initially met Xiaodong, one of the 5 students, in an online chat. After that, they suggested to Xiaodong that he should take some of his classmates out to look for jobs and make a lot of money, which was actually a lie. But this lie, for the family economic conditions are not good for the 5 children, has a strong temptation.
他说爸爸妈妈每天非常辛苦，他想替父母分担点家务，而且家里还有个弟弟。
Such answers made the reporter feel sad. Knowing that their parents would stop them from working, Ru and the other 5 children chose to leave quietly. They wanted to tell their family the truth after earning their first paycheck. In fact, thanks to the police's timely action, otherwise they would have become a tool for the bad guys to make money.
他不知道是什么工作，没跟他说，但是到了成都以后就变了，这个工作没想到是让他偷东西。
那到了成都之后，他们是怎么告诉你是让你当小偷呢？
是不是啊？
怎么告诉你的？
就2个人表演，让他在旁边看。有2个人表演，在家里面表演是怎么偷，让他学。
你当时他感到害怕吗？还是怎么办？
自己看见说表演这个偷东西，自己有木心，害怕是吧？
Despite her fear, Ru couldn't turn back. Not only was she penniless, but she was followed everywhere. Feng Jie, who used to be their friendly guide, changed his face when he arrived in Chengdu. Thus, taking advantage of the children's innocence, Feng Jie and Song Fulin planned and executed the abduction case. In addition to the children's desire to find a good job, there was another unknown reason why they were deceived.
他还是就是对这个社会接触的太少，而且重要的一点原因是呢，他对这个健全人呀，他心里有一种抵触的心理，包括他父母都是这样的，父母说话他都不相信，他就对这个聋哑人的话 就他们那个小范围圈子里面的这个人的话，就特别相信。你说啊，我带你去就可以，咱俩陌生不认识，还说待一会儿咱们俩沟通手语沟通一会儿，然后我领你出去吃好吃的，跟着就走了。
To eliminate the resistance of deaf children not only through school education, but also from the family's affectionate communication, parents should not only take good care of their children in life, but also pay attention to their children's thinking and give them more love and care emotionally. After this incident, Xiaoru's parents have been awakened.
平常你跟孩子交流的时候多吗？
多不算多，因为毕竟我手语不太会。
主要靠。
再一个，我做生意，
时间比较紧。
比较的那个紧张吧。现在我们就是最大的努力，跟孩子沟通。有时候为了跟孩子沟通，甚至为了让孩子开心一些，我们甚至就不卖货了，就关了门了，就领着孩子出去转一转。
好好的生活，他不想跟爸爸好好生活。
At present, the 5 children have resumed their studies. It has been said that the degree of attention a society pays to the disadvantaged is a reflection of the degree of civilization in that society. Deaf children are also members of our social family. Families, schools, and society should take the responsibility of educating and assisting the deaf and mute. Let's help deaf children grow up healthily with love.